Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to give you my top 5 worst of 2024, or at least top 5 least favorite. Now, I'm not someone who typically drags on movies too much, although it does give me different energy, right? And that being said, I tend to have a pretty good nose for what I'm gonna like at least to some extent. So these I just happen to stumble upon. I don't specifically seek out movies to rage bait over them or anything like that. I'm not that kind of creator. But yeah, nonetheless, I do still see ones that either really underwhelm me or I just didn't care for. Sometimes even involving people I'm quite an avid fan of, as you'll see in this video. But yeah, let's get the ball rolling. Just doing top 5. And number 5 is Maxine. Now, Maxine is probably a better movie than all the others on this bottom list, and it's probably objectively a better made film, and some of them I would rank higher that aren't on this list at all. But this is probably my most disappointing movie of the year, and that kind of feeling is almost more egregious to me than just being not good. I really love X and Pearl. And for me, Maxine just didn't give me a story that was really worth telling. I don't really think we necessarily needed follow-up on the character. Mia Goth did enough as both her and Pearl previously. There were some things about the filmmaking that were pretty good here, but otherwise it just did not justify it to me. You even have actors like Michelle Monaghan in here and Kevin Bacon, who are just kind of awkwardly handled in terms of how they were directed. Mia Goth is good, but that's about it, and it just did not land at all. And my 4th least favorite is going to be a movie I reviewed pretty recently, and that is Place of Bones. Now, I love westerns, and that mixing with verging on horror I should naturally like. There's a pretty good twist to this, but it does just not save the tensionless and the simply listlessness of the rest of the movie for me. Heather Graham is semi-interesting to watch, but other than that, like Tom Hopper, he didn't work here either, though. It just was not really. It felt more like it should be a short, if anything. Number 3 is Depravity. Honestly, this is one I could probably put higher up. I could probably swap this with Place of Bones, because I honestly probably like this movie a little bit more. But we're here now, so basically about these 3 who end up being friends. They get wary of Dermot Mulroney, who they're thinking is a serial killer in the next apartment over. And it's about them growing closer and kind of being, paranoid of that. And then once things happen, they look into it themselves. It starts, sets up a chain of events, basically. I mainly watched this because of Victoria Justice, who I grew up really, really adoring. I just think she's given really basic material here. I did like the other 2 as well. They weren't the problem. The actors are actually all pretty decent in this movie. Just the direction of it just got more and more kind of uninteresting and convoluted as it went. If they dialed in and maybe, altered certain character depictions a bit, I think it might have helped. But like I said, I probably like this one more than Place of Bones, and maybe I'd even watch it again before Maxine, but it's off the list. And my number 2 least favorite is one I didn't even do a full review for, but as an action junkie, I was fairly looking forward to this one. On top of Stephen Dorff being an actor I'm a big, big fan of, I like Clive Standen as well. I don't have an issue with Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin, by the way, is just in a cameo guest role in this. But aside from Stephen Dorff, the performances are just awkward all around. Stephen Dorff could do one like this in his sleep, but he's not in every scene, unfortunately. Clive Standen I like, especially from Vikings, and he can be likable enough in other roles, but he's just, he even kind of falls flat here. The rest of the performances from Lachlan Monroe and the rest of the supporting cast range from just awkward to bad. And the action itself is just not worth it, and it's meant to have a sense of fun and camp and lean into a throwback type of film, but this even just made me kind of want to give up on it. And this brings me to my least favorite movie of the year, the worst movie I I've seen this year, and it breaks my heart a bit because I absolutely love Scout Taylor Compton. She's a great human being. I've met her on a couple of occasions. I've had other really, really nice interactions with her. She has a real passion and genuine care for filmmaking as well as her fans. I love her Talk Scary Me podcast. But this one I do not know why she picked out to sort of throw her weight into. Just the acting in this is pretty piss poor, if I'm being honest. You also have Taryn Manning here. You have Kane Hodder in a guest spot. But the acting is just awkward and again just not very, very good, to put it mildly. Even her delivery, I don't know if it was how she was directed or what, the whole "they turned us into killers, we're the Millers," it just made me cringe, and I hate using that term. But it did. No, there was potential here, because seeing her act a certain way when she has someone on a table, I should love that. I should really, really get something out of that, seeing her in that sort of role. But it just was not enough. I own it on Blu-ray. I'll probably keep it just because it's her. But man, this was a bit of an experience to get through. But yeah, so They Turned Us Into Killers is my least favorite movie of 2020.